Before the video starts, I would like to say a massive thank you to Jamie G18 for allowing me to use his awesome modded livery. I have linked the mod in the description, and I would appreciate you joining his Discord to see more of his great work. I will also say I am an idiot now, as I forgot to record the entire race, so we only have the game's highlights to show the race, so we miss out on quite a bit of action. But anyway, now on to the video.
Hello folks, and welcome to this, a very special edition of Paddock Pass. As you can see, there's no pit lane behind me, and as you can hear, no roar of engines, and that's because they've set me free from the F1 paddock to escape here to the countryside and to the headquarters of Formula One's newest team. Now, it's not every day we get to pull back the curtain and look behind the scenes at an F1 team. Rarer still that we get to talk not only to the team owner, but also the team's lead driver. But what makes this place extra special is that the owner and lead driver are one and the same person. Now, it's been an interesting 12 months, and we all know a number of the regulation changes which were due to come into effect this year have been delayed until next. Some, though, are still seeing the light of day, amongst them the all-important budget cap, which gives some of the smaller teams a little further down the order, potentially, the opportunity to compete with the bigger teams. Good for them, but great for us as viewers. But what does our new team owner think about these new rules? Do they see them as a challenge, a hurdle that needs to be overcome? Perhaps they see them as an opportunity to disrupt the status quo, a chance to come out swinging and to carve their name into Formula One history. Well, I had the opportunity to ask them these very questions just earlier today, and here's what they had to say. Well, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us here today. It's been wonderful to see behind the scenes. As you might expect, I've got about 1 million questions, so let's jump straight in. It's been a long time since we last saw a team owner take their own car onto the track, and the sport's changed enormously in the intervening years. How are you going to handle the responsibilities of both managing and driving for a Formula One team? Let's talk about your teammate. Now, it's clear they're excited to have signed with you, but tell me, what is it that you think they bring to the team? So you've obviously been putting a lot of work into the car. I know it's early days, but how do you expect it to feel out there? Most of the other teams can boast years of experience in Formula One. Where do you see the opportunities to make those vital performance gains you need to put you within reach of the other cars? Ultimately, your success this season is going to come down to whether you can take positions from the other drivers. What is it about your car that's going to give you that edge in those battles? And finally, with so many specialist departments working together here at your headquarters, and with such an important deadline coming up, who's getting that coveted Teacher's Gold Star? Which group do you feel the most proud of right now? Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to get an insight from you, and of course to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it, and thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
This is where you can view our current facilities and the effects they are having on the business. You can also invest some of our cash into upgrades for these facilities. It's important to use the time between races to the fullest extent. And that's where these activities come in. Manage everyone's time as efficiently as possible to maximize the team's performance. Hey, welcome to the team. I'm your head of R&D. My name's Charlie. Please make yourself at home. You're going to be using this workstation pretty regularly over the coming months, so spend some time to get familiar with it. You should be able to access everything from messages to
Hey boss, this is Jeff. Just wanted to say thanks for trusting me as your race engineer. I won't let you down. The car is ready to go, but it's brand new of course, so there may be a few issues here and there. We'll be keeping a close eye on all the data. This is the ERS management test. Hit the target time whilst managing your battery charge. The more efficiently you use energy throughout the lap, the higher you will score. Use your overtake button for maximum power, but remember, that will drain energy rapidly. Okay, test complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
The session has drawn to a close, so let's review our top three. Verstappen, Hamilton, and Valtteri Bottas. What an incredible...
Due to a mistake, all the assists were on, so I was unable to set a time during qualifying, so I was starting at the back of the grid for the race.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Verstappen, Hamilton, and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Bad luck out there today. Let's talk about it. It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season. Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today? Great. Well, that's everything.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Carlos Sainz and Leclerc, Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Vettel, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Callum Islands, Mick Schumacher, Latifi, Mazepin and James. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Valtteri Bottas passes his rival to take over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to James. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes move to the top of the table. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
This is the driver market. From here, you can see pertinent details on every driver in the sport, compare them with each other, and add them to your watch list. When the contract negotiation window rolls around, this is where you will approach any drivers you wish to hire.
I know this wasn't a great first My Team video, but I will make sure the next race is more like my usual F1 content with the team radios and commentary.